Bills when it comes to DeAndre Hopkins. Listen, Greedy's not here. I want to talk about the Cowboys. I want the Cowboys to get DeAndre Hopkins, and here's my reason why. You know, if you talked about Dak trying to cut down on the turnovers, why not get another reliable receiver? I know they went and got Brandon Cooks, which helps them out tremendously, but you look back at that postseason game and even that last season, Michael Gallup was like a no-show, and you thought it was going to be a huge season for him. I think he had no catches, 3 targets against the 49ers. Wouldn't DeAndre Hopkins be great for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, I like Hopkins as a fit for the Cowboys because I think Cooks is a guy that's supposed to stretch the defense. He's going to take the roof off the defense and run deep routes and scare them. I think that you got CeeDee Lamb as kind of a big play receiver. You give him short passes or gadget plays that he can turn into.
If Dalvin Cook will be willing to take less money on his salary, but he has an expensive contract right now, and while the Minnesota Vikings would love to trade him, that may not be able to happen. They may not be able to find a trade partner, so we'll see if they release him over the next few weeks. And then you have DeAndre Hopkins, Brian. All the eyes are on him right now. Lots of teams flirting with him, showing some interest, trying to see what he wants and where he wants to play, right? Money's a big factor in this. You got teams like the Kansas City Chiefs who got their eye on it. You've got the Buffalo Bills who are looking at it, not all in on it, though. The New England Patriots. But here's what I expect over the next few weeks. DeAndre Hopkins will most likely be making visits with teams that are interested, right? So he'll sit with them and they'll have a conversation about what he wants, what he's looking for. And I think in the end, though, it's going to be DeAndre Hopkins making a decision based on money, right? Because that Odell Beckham Jr. deal with Baltimore really skewed the market here. So we'll see if he's willing to give on that to perhaps play with the quarterback like, let's say, Patrick Mahomes.
Listen, it's always about...
Remember, you got rid of Amari Cooper, and then you look at, man, like all the talk and the rumors, but it usually doesn't happen if you're a Cowboys fan. And so that's why I'm saying that it's not going to be... It's just not realistic because that's not what Jerry Jones does.
All right, time now here for a little something that we call, I'm sorry, what? Take a look at this.
You gotta hit.
Important. It's not as if the 2 teams that you mentioned would walk all over this team as currently constructed. I'm not saying that it would be easy, and it may not be consecutive, but we could be looking at a window where Denver is that team.
Okay, that window's far away.
Fair.
I see the window.
Yes. As long as you see it.
But I'm not in that room yet.
As long as you see it.
You know who's loving this conversation? Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler. Right now, they are loving it. That's all the motivation they need.
Right.
We're going to talk more about
chip growing on the shoulder.
More about this a little later in the hour. But to football now and the NFL. Aaron Rodgers, he continues to nurse that calf strain. You know, the quarterback spent most of yesterday's practice just coaching up his teammates and just throwing on the side. And when asked about Rodgers' calf, head coach Robert Saleh didn't seem too panicked about the situation.
Yeah, he's fine. Just doing a bunch of rehab. He'll be limited today, and then just hoping to ease him back in.
As the Cowboys, I think trying to solidify the offensive line is probably more important. But if this free agent is available and he wants to play with a proven quarterback, and that's what you got in Dallas, and have a chance at a Super Bowl, you got that, all that with the Cowboys. So I could see this being a match made in heaven for them.
Diana, how much of a possibility is it for DeAndre Hopkins and the Cowboys?
So normally when Greeny sits here, I just tell him what he wants to hear.
Right.
So it's like, yes, the Jets are all in. They signed Hopkins yesterday. The Jets are not interested in DeAndre Hopkins at this point, by the way. But for your team, for the Dallas Cowboys, I don't get the sense that he is an option for them. Look, all teams are looking at this, but there's level of seriousness, right? Like, for example, I had one executive in the league say to me, look, if he wants to make $2 million a year, yeah, we'll take him, right? So money's a big issue. And obviously the Dallas opened up some space here, and they could look into that. But from the conversations I had, the Dallas Cowboys are not on the board.
Sam Acho, do you think DeAndre Hopkins, Dallas Cowboys make sense?
No, it doesn't. And it's not because of his talent or cap space or anything. It's because historically, Jerry Jones doesn't usually spend big on free agents in the offseason. We talk about it all the time. Man, last year, are they going to get Odell Beckham Jr.? What's going to happen? We talk about it ad nauseum and nothing. Right? You look at that, like...
All right, so here we are. Let's get to Sam and Neek. Neek, give me your concern. Should there be concern for the Jets about the calf and Aaron Rodgers, even though I know it's early?
Yeah, I mean, it's early, like you said, and the calf right now is not projected to be a long, lingering thing. But I don't know if the calf matters as much as the fact that he is older. And I would love, as a 40-year-old myself, I would love to agree with Robert Saleh and say my body is not my age. But yeah, things get a little bit more brittle as you get older. So I think injuries in general should be a huge concern for the Jets and for Aaron Rodgers going forward. They put so much on this season. They put so much on this player being healthy, and you can't expect to have the success that they want to have if he gets hurt. And yeah, there's a higher chance of him getting hurt now than it's ever been in his career. So they should be concerned about it. It's not much you can do about it, but exercise and rest and be careful. But
it's very important for him to be there
season as he gets older. Those are real concerns. I think they should be legitimized, and they are legit.
Quarterback. But for now, they're hoping that Aaron Rodgers is the best thing that can possibly happen to this quarterback who grew up looking up to him. He had a poster of Aaron Rodgers in his room. That's how much he wanted to be just like him. So from what I was told from talking to people inside the building, the relationship between them is already off to a really good start. And obviously, anytime Zach Wilson's going to be out there getting more reps, because we know he did deal with some injuries last year, but getting that comfort in a system with a new offensive coordinator, this is always going to help them out. Because look, there's got to be a backup plan here, because everyone else, every team is dealing with this. At some point, your starter could get hurt, whether you're going to be 40. Do you think anyone actually calls that number that's on the screen there, that 222 number? Look, here's what the 49ers are happy about. They don't have to call to go find out their starting quarterback, because they've got their guy in Brock Purdy, right? We know that he underwent that elbow surgery in March, and he was out on the field yesterday throwing. So he's in that by the end of the week, perhaps even next week in minicamp in mid-June. He should be good to go, because they do think this is a minor injury. But the fact that he's physically out there, this is video from yesterday, okay? So he's obviously dealing with this mild calf injury, but he's not inside the training room. He's not rehabbing it at a facility or even back at home doing what he needs to do. He's out there with the team coaching these guys up, because the more familiarity they can all get with one another, the more they believe that they can have a productive season. So they're trying to get that work done now, even though Aaron's not able to go out there and, fling the football.
Acho, what do you think? Should the Jets be concerned?
Oh, not right now. The first game is not for another 3 months. So this calf strain really means very little or very minimal. But over the long run, in the long term, you look at the injury history, not just of Aaron Rodgers, but just of older players. You start saying, man, there should be some concern there based off of the history. Last year, you look at it, there was a thumb fracture. That's why he didn't play as well.
Purdy should be ready to go by week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Meantime, Dalvin Cook and the Minnesota Vikings. This is a story we've been keeping an eye on for weeks now, because where is it going to end up? It seems, by speaking to those around the league, that these two are headed for a divorce and most likely could part ways. That
cap space tomorrow as